Hey, it's Jeremy here at My Way MFG. Today's video is going to be about getting ready to get this rocker panel on Eliza. Had some floor work to do over there before we could, and while I was cutting the floor out, I noticed some of the inner structure was bad too, so I kind of addressed all of that. Got that the best I could. A little bit of rust right up along the top frame rail where it folded over like this. The whole side's good, bottom's good. There was about 16 inches where it was rusted right at the top. So I got some pieces welded back in there. I just lapped them over, cleaned it up and welded them in. And it's not as heavy of material as what the frame was, but it was such a small area, I think it's gonna be okay. I didn't think I had any rust on this frame until I found that. I looked at the other side and it's okay, and I think that's the only bad spot, at least the only one I know of. But after I found that, I did research what is the gauge of metal that frame is made out of, because I thought if I do run into a spot where I got a real bad place, I want to get the right thickness of metal. And from what I'm reading, this frame was 11 gauge. So if it comes to it, I'll have to get some of that to make patches, but I don't think that I will. We'll just cross our fingers there. But I'm hoping that it was right underneath the rocker panel where the floor and the rocker meet the frame. And it was probably just getting stuff in there, you know, and rusting out. But anyway, I got all that pretty good, and you'll see in the upcoming video what I done. There was a outrigger here that catches the B-pillar and the running board bolts too. I couldn't understand why they made it so big. Well, as I was watching my video footage, editing the video, I was able to kind of get an overall view of it, you know, watching myself work on that. And what I come to realize is, I think they put that there for a step as people get in the back seat, because you would be putting your foot up there and turning and coming down, and I think they wanted that under there for to support the floor for people entering the back seat. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of, but it makes sense, you know. Oh, I had a commenter say when I was making that transmission tunnel in the last video, why didn't you use a cardboard pattern? And when I read that, I thought to myself, why didn't I use a cardboard pattern? I usually do. And I was out here, that was Saturday, I made that video. That was Saturday I was doing the work on it actually, and then I got the video out later on that day. I came over here Sunday, I was messing around, and in the back seat, I found this. This is the pattern for that transmission tunnel. I had made this earlier in the week out of cardboard, and then on the day I was actually doing it, I forgot I ever made it, didn't even think about it. But you're right, I should have been using cardboard, and I know that. It's just that I don't do this kind of work every day. It just doesn't immediately click to me. You know, I'm a plumber. I've never worked in a body shop. I've never worked in a metal fabrication shop. I'm not a mechanic. I've just always worked on my own stuff, you know, since I was 15 probably. And yeah, that's where we're at. So when I say good enough, that's what this car is all about, good enough. I'm never going to restore this thing to perfect. It's just, it's going to be good enough. I'm trying to get it solid, trying to get it to where I can drive it. It's reliable. I want the interior nice, quiet, everything working. I want to make a good driver out of it. And I'm just working with the skill set that I have, you know. But having said that, my good enoughs are usually pretty good. I'm not the guy that's going to be screwing license plates down over holes in the floor and calling that good enough. I'm not that guy. I'm also not the guy that's going to be under there bondoing the frame and rear end to try to get all the pits filled in so I can put a show car finish on it underneath. Not that guy either. I'm somewhere in between, you know. That's who I am, working with the skill set that I have. So if you like that, you're at the right place. But anyway, we're gonna get this all kind of ready to go today and get this rocker panel fitted and get a look at the other side and see what we're gonna have to do there. And this was never meant to be a metal fabrication channel. The thing is, I can only show you what I'm doing, and so far, that's all I've got to. I've got all kinds of other stuff to do to this car. And when that stuff comes about, that welder will get pushed off in the corner and we probably won't see it again until we get another car, which will probably be my son's 77 square body pickup truck. We got to weld some floors in that, probably this summer. But I'd like to get to the interior. Those videos don't do well. You're gonna have to suffer through some interior videos if you're following along. But I'd like to get the interior done, the wiring done, the glass in. Paint's gonna be next. We're gonna be probably getting ready for that within the next week or so, I'm hoping. But yeah, that's where we're at with it, guys. So enjoy the video, and I'll see you again at the end, probably. Hey guys, starting to get this rocker panel fitted. There's a big brace back here. It's got a little bit of rust on it, but where the rust is at, it's not, this doesn't need to be here right here. I think they brought it out so they'd have something to bolt the running board on. This is an outrigger that comes off the frame and catches this bolt right here for the B-pillar behind the door. All of this in this area is good where the body mounts at. The running board bolts on here and here. We do have some rust here and here, but I'm just going to get some rust converters sprayed on that. I'm not going to go through the trouble to fix that, I don't think. However, I do have to cut the floor out. I got a big crack here. I'm going to cut the floor out like this, try to stay on the flat pieces and stay out of these pressed in bead rolls. So after I get this out, maybe I will address this. I'm not sure yet. The rocker panel, I've got it cut to length. It had to get notched down here to go around that. That's the way the other one was when I took it off. That's just the way you do it. We're still good right here. I'm just gonna get welded back into that. That's all good metal. I'll just do a butt joint there. Up here, I had to grind off just a little bit in that corner to go around this. But I've got a good fit here, guys. I'm good and tight up in there. This is that new piece I put on in a previous video. It's rusted. It looks just like the rest of the car now. But got a good fit along the floor pan. And I've got a good fit back here. The whole thing looks real nice. And I don't think it's going to be too hard to put in. I just got to get the rest of this floor built out on this edge. And then we'll be ready to go with that. Now, if we go over to the other side, this side over here, some things are going to be better, some things are going to be worse. This rocker panel on this side is in pretty good shape. Clear up until you get to there. And this floor, I got a little wonky spot right here, but the rest of that's good. Clear back maybe to right there, there might be a little bad spot. So I might not be replacing quite as much over here. I'm gonna get a wire wheel on this and see what all I've got. But that in there, if I try to pry this off of here, I'm gonna ruin the floor. They have got that welded on there good. I tried to separate it on the other side, and there must be a drilled in spot weld about every inch. There was no way I could separate the two without ruining the floor. So if I find that all this is good up here, it'll probably stay, and I'll just get a butt joint up in here somewhere. If I start wire wheeling it off and see that it's bad, then I'll take it as far as I did that side. This corner down here below the hinge, you guys watched me when I made that other piece on that previous video. I'm gonna have to do the same thing here, except on the other side, I still had the inner structure. It comes down and it makes a 90, and then the rocker panel goes up against it here. And I'll probably try to drill a couple plug welds in it. On this side, it's gone. So I'm gonna have to cut this out. There's a piece of it there. But I'm gonna have to cut this out, get a piece of probably the 1/8 inch down here at an angle, and then bend it on a 90. So I've got that same structure here. And then I'll cover it up with another one of those triangle pieces down here. So I gotta rebuild all that. And then up in here, this is bad about up to there. Now, I'm gonna cut out as little as possible right there and just try to do that corner. I don't wanna take out more than I have to. And then up here, we've got a real bad spot, and that's gonna have to get addressed. But this A-pillar and door on this side were just destroyed. So we're just gotta keep working on all that and get it the best we can. And I got this, I got that fitting in there good. It's about all welded up. I've got all the plug welds done up on that toe board. That's starting to get pretty good there, guys. But anyway, I'm gonna work on that driver's side for now and see where I get with that. Guys, I've been out here working along this morning. I looked this car over pretty good and I thought I had a pretty rust-free frame, you know. But after I got the rest of this floorboard out right here, had rust through right along this top corner, going down through here. And I crawled underneath and looked, and this is the only place it's bad, from about right here to right there. And I feel like while I'm in here, I better try to do at least a little something about it. So I welded a corner in here the best I could. And that's not great, but it ought to give it a little bit of strength back. This car has got an X-frame that comes across like this right through here. It's all good. And then this is all good from here on back and from here up front. So it's just this right here. And then when you get right here, it's good. And then the whole bottom is good. Just this top part. So I did get that burned in there pretty good. And I think that'll give it a little bit of strength back. If you're wondering about how good my welds are, if they're gonna hold or not, I can tell you this. I was having trouble getting this to fit down tight to the floor on the other side. When I said in the last video that wasn't fitting quite right, I didn't go into detail, but that was basically what I was referring to. I had a gap in between that floor pan and this tunnel. Well, I realized I had my floor pan welded in crooked. It was sloping down towards the middle. So I had to cut all of them plug welds that I'd put across the top. Luckily, I still had 2 I hadn't finished, but like the other 4 or whatever, they were stuck. I had a hell of a time. But anyway, I got those ground out. We took a pry bar across the transmission, pried that floor pan up like this. And then I done a little slice cut at the top and got all those plug welded back in. And now that's fitting good. So I'm hoping these welds are that good, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But right now, this is the brace that holds the rear seat bolt. I'm not gonna try to replace that. I'm gonna make a new end for it right here and get it welded down. And then I'm gonna try to do something with this rust right here. And then probably just make a flat patch to go right here. And then I can get the floor pan down. But yeah, I just wanted to address this a little bit while I'm under here. I guess I'd hoped that was a little better than that. Had no idea. But it's what you run into, you know. And you could expect it on this car. I mean, you really wouldn't expect it to be good, now would you? I mean, it's better than what you would think, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So we're just going to keep going here and make it the best we can. So anyway, guys, I'm going to keep working on this for a bit. Alright guys, I got all that inner structure kind of fixed up. Patched that frame rail where it was thin along the top. Back seat brace, got it welded in. It's good and solid. This piece back here, I don't even think it needs to be there. I can't see what the hell it does, but I put it back in just the same. And I got it all stitched in there where it's, you know, it's solid. So I'm gonna go home and cut a 8 by 22 inch piece out of that piece of metal and start getting the rest of this floor pan fitted in. I think we got something good to attach it to now, and then we'll get the rocker on. That's gonna hold up good as long as nobody ever tries to do any general lease shit in here, and I wouldn't do that. Wife might. I wouldn't. Anyway, guys. All right, guys. I got a piece cut, laid in there. I think we're gonna start tacking that in and see if we can get it where it needs to go. Up underneath there, I got that structure all pretty well welded back together, and I hit it with some of that rust converter. You can't really tell, but it is on there. So we're gonna get that in there as close as we can and kind of do some butt cuts and get her fitting good, guys. So here we go. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for today. Most likely see you again on Saturday. I want to thank all my subscribers. Thanks to all the new people. And please like, share, comment, all that stuff. And we'll catch you on the next one. Jeremy.